Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques,
Halt!
Jacques,
Halt!
what's up, folks? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is your way. We hope everyone is doing well. If you're watching us now on YouTube, This will be not so much a live podcast or a semi-live podcast. It'll show live, but we'll have comments in the comment section if you throw in comments. So just want y'all to know that as well. It look like it's live, but it's been pre-recorded. But we are there on the show for sure. So what's up, folks? Jacques, man, we here, bro. We here,
Yes,
man.
sir. Nope, we here. Last game of the season, getting close to one of my favorite parts of the season. If we don't make the postseason, it's the off season. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And again, look for a lot more lives on Instagram too. So if you're not following us on Instagram, please do, because we're gonna start going live on there as well. So any breaking news, anything like that, ease of access, all that. So we'll definitely start utilizing that platform a lot more.
That's right. That's right. And Jacques, to add to that as well, y'all, for 2025, we are the official Bleacher Report podcast for the Tennessee Titans. So you can check us out every Wednesday. We'll be doing a sort of an off-season analysis every Wednesday until the season starts. And, so you can also subscribe to us on Bleacher Report as well. Literally just download the app on Bleacher Report, follow the Titans. You'll see us, man, for sure. So Jacques.
Yes, sir.
We got the Houston Texans coming, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, looking at this game as well with the Houston Texans, I looked at Vegas today, and they actually have the Tennessee Titans favored to win this game. You can see here they're favored by 1.5 points. They're over and under 37 points. So right now they do have the Titans, of course, for obvious reasons, but, we'll get into that, I'm sure. So, Jacques, This is the final game of the season, as you just mentioned. And we're 3-13 right now, man. And I'm not sure if we'll win or not. So give us at least one reason, and we can win, and one reason we can lose to the Houston Texans.
One reason we can win, man, we ain't got nothing to lose. So I mean, you go out there as a unit, specifically on offense, and just play ball, just almost like you playing football. Like it kind of reminds you when you was in high school and Pee Wee. Just have fun. I feel like if they get to having fun, they just get to doing stuff. Right now, the Texans are trying to. Their mind is on the playoff push right now, so they're trying to figure out if they're going to push their starters or what they're going to do. I think the Texans just have a lot to lose with that coming into this game. With us, we ain't got nothing to lose, man. We 3-13. We technically do. I'll get into that in a minute. But for how they can win, just do what you did last time, man. Establish the run. Their run defense is not pretty good. It's not good at all, really. And TP can get his incentive yards because he has some incentives that he needs to get. But if you go out there and do that, I know they're running the 2-quarterback system. So, I mean, you're going to have Will Levis doing his thing, have him throw down the field if he wants to, have Mason open the playbook, man. Just have fun. That's how you can win this game. How you can lose this game is the Texans. I'm going to put this on the Texans. You beat the Texans the first time we played them. So I can imagine the Texans want their lick back. And I can imagine how bad they want their lick back. And I can imagine how much D'Amico Ryan wants to run up the score. This is a big game for these two organizations. We're wearing the Oilers uniforms. It just has this. These are the games that get coaches fired within the Titans organization because of Amy Adams-Strunk. She values this rivalry. I know why. I get it, but it's the Texans. It depends on how bad the Texans want to win and how much they want to get their get back. I believe the Texans can come in here and run the score up on us because we have been struggling for the past couple of weeks. And I feel like they can kind of figure out, say, hey, we can get turnovers. Don't make the same mistakes you made last time, especially if Will Levis is out here. To stay back. If Mason Rudolph is out here, he's not going to kill you too much. So just play that on defense. On offense, I feel like this can be a good C.J. Stroud bounce-back game to where they can kind of get his swagger back because right now I think his swagger is down right now. And I think this will be a good game for him to get his swagger back. So that's my way. The one way we can lose and one way we can win the game. And what about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper, Jacques. It's a great breakdown. I was thinking about that Tony Pollard incentive as well, too. I think he gets is it 60 yards or 80 yards? And he'll get
6, I think.
Yeah, okay, something like that. He gets a
Yeah.
pretty good bonus. I think 500,000 or something like that.
Yep.
So they definitely. So the way they could win this football game, the Titans literally is Tony Pollard. It's him. It's Tony Pollard is giving him the football and making him work. You know what I'm saying? To your point earlier, yes, they're going to have Mason Rudolph and Will Levis. I don't think either one playing is going to make that big of a difference. I really think it's going to be set up by running the football against the Texans. And I
Mhm.
think another part is I do not think the Texans are going to play a lot of their starters this game. They don't need to. They've already locked up the 4th spot. There's no other spot that they need to move up. They're not going to move up to 3. The Texans are on a slide right now, for sure. And so they're just going to have a bunch of backups out there and just, hey, go, y'all do your thing, man. You know what I mean? Hold it down for us. And, we'll do our best, which ought to help Tony Pollard in getting some yards. I would anticipate our offensive line to play much better with backups out there for the Texans. So I would hope that our offensive line can impose their will on their backups and we can run the ball well. I hope Tony Pollard does get his yards because Tony Pollard is probably our offensive player of the year on our team. You know what I mean? So, a few players here and there, but I really like what Tony Pollard has done this season. And I think Tony Pollard's been maybe our best free agent that we picked up this season. So I really think it's on Tony Pollard. Can Tony Pollard get those yards to get that incentive? And with the Texans backups offensively and defensively, I think that should very bode well for us. I mean, if we can't beat the Texans with their backups, we probably won't. I mean, this is Vegas got us only winning by a point and a half. I do not think that 37 points is going to be made. I think you should go under that. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game at all. But how we could lose this game simply by turnovers. You still got Will Levis. You still got Mason Rudolph out there. They both throw a lot of turnovers. I think Will Levis is going to look at an opportunity like, man, I'm finally back on the field. I'm gonna let it fly. I'm gonna, though I beat them the last time we played them, and the way they play defense really bodes well for Will Levis. But I think Houston is gonna understand at this time, like, okay, we know what to do now. We're not gonna give up the deep ball. We're gonna stay in our quarters, and we dare Will Levis to throw the ball in certain spots. We're gonna pick off the pass. And even when Mason Rudolph is in the game as well, he's going to try to do his best to sell himself to try to be on this team next year. I think they both are going to compete with each other, and I think that's what's going to hurt us. So we have a quarterback situation. They're both going to try to wing it out there, and turnovers can happen. Houston does get a lot of turnovers. They're not a good run defense, but man, they will fly all over the field. I think that's how we can lose is by simply turnovers, simple turnovers. Too many turnovers, and we can't score enough points to beat them. That's how I think we could lose to the Texans.
Got it. Great breakdown. So let me ask you a question. With the game Sunday, do you prefer us to win or lose?
Oh man, Jacques. Man, I prefer us to lose, man. I really do. I don't think, and I'm not a person that thinks like you tank. I mean, I get that. You should go out there to win. And shout out to Jeffrey Simmons. That's what he said. He's like, I'm not going out there if people want us to tank. I understand that. But no one in the world is going to think about this one game in 10 years, right? Nobody. So I don't think they can purposefully tank. I don't, as a coaching staff, I think it would be kind of obvious if that's the case with backups with the Texans. But my personal preference, I hope we lose because right now we're still at the number 2 spot. And I want to stay at that number 2 spot. That's where we're at right now in the draft. And so I think this could really do well for us in holding this as much as we can just over one freaking game that this one game could push us down to 5. So I would really like for us to lose this game, honestly. And if we do, I mean, the fan base itself, it has been even, I've noticed that fans have been a bit hyped more than normal, right? Based on our draft spot. And I get it. Because when you're drafting 9 and 10 every year, man, it's like, oh, man, we could be drafting number 2, maybe number 1. If the Patriots win and we lose, we would be number 1. So, I think, man, that's my preference. We lose, Josh. What about you, bro?
I don't care about this game. I told you I'm ready to get to the off season, so I'm with you, man. I'm 100% with you. I hope we lose this game. I feel like that Will Levis is going and company is going to try to spoil that because of how he might not be on his team next year. So I can see something like that. But I hope we lose this game because, like you say, what's the benefit of us winning? What's the benefit of us when we're trying to make franchise changing decisions and it doesn't? Getting a number 2 and number 1 draft pick doesn't come along too often. It every blue moon, and Chicago did it. Yeah, Chicago did it. That doesn't happen too often, right? So I would prefer us to lose this game. I do. That's why I said I don't care about this game. I'm watching. Matter of fact, Sunday I'll watch the game. I know it's a home game. I might not go, but it all depends on how I'm feeling. But I'm really on tank watch with the Patriots and the Bills, right? What are you looking like over there? What are y'all doing, right? And by the way, the Titans are the first team in NFL history not to hit the spread when it comes to Vegas. We did not
Yep.
hit the spread at all this year. So
Yep.
that spread that they got, yeah, right. So that's for me.
That tells you how bad our season has been, man.
Yep.
It
You can't even
really
hit
is, man.
Vegas.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
does that tell you the NFL is rigged? Because I hear that a lot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That
Right,
kind of
right.
that kind of discredits that argument.
It
I'm just
does. It
saying. But
does.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So so Jacques, so we've talked about the Texans.
Mhm.
Let's start talking about the Titans organization. All right. And for those that's watching this, man, hey, this is at the 10-minute or so mark, almost the 11-minute mark, man. Hey, it's time to talk about the organization, Jacques. All right. So there was a article today on the Tennessean that talked about Rand Carthon and Brinker as well too, as far as their job security, where there are rumors out there that Chris Brinker and Rand Carthon could be fired at the end of the season. So, what are your thoughts on that? You know, when you think of with Rand Carthon in his second year as a GM, and same for Brinker as well too. What are your thoughts?
Okay. How long did John Robinson get time to turn the ship around? He had about 4 or 5 years. Correct me
Yep,
if I'm wrong.
5 years. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
If you fire them too, you have wasted your time. Okay. And I'm gonna say this again. I like Amy. Don't get me wrong. Amy has done a lot of great with this organization, but that's how you become a poverty franchise when you continue to do changes like that. Because hypothetically, say if they do fire them, which I don't think that's true, there's a little truth in rumors, yes, but hypothetically speaking, if she does fire them, who are you replacing them with? Okay. And if you replace them, they better have the best contingency plan ever known to man. You better bring in the right and you put yourself in another situation. Does that mean Brian Callahan stays and he gets a whole nother GM and a whole nother whatever, right? Then that discredits the collaboration conversation, right? That's been said. That's how you push your franchise. That's how you continue to push your franchise in the dumpster. At that point, if you fire those two, you've just wasted maybe 2 to 3 years down the drain. You didn't even give them an opportunity to bring in their entire draft class because we still have a couple of trash cans left from the John Robinson regime, right? Why would we do that? I do not agree with that. I don't think you should fire them. I think you should give them another season, see how they can right the ship, what draft picks they can bring in. You give Callahan his option at what quarterback he wants, right? Give let them collaborate on that type of level to where they can go in and say, hey, okay, this is our plan that we have, right? This is what we have to that we're going to try to right the ship. But, but, it would not surprise me if it did happen, Hawk, because we've seen it happen before with this franchise. Certain things get you fired under Amy Adams Strunk. It's more of an emotional trigger than a logical trigger sometimes, right? The logical trigger was when she allowed AJ Brown to get traded by John Robinson. And people were like, well, she can't stop that. No, she's the owner of the team. She can stop what she wants. She vetoed the Derrick Henry trade. She could have definitely stepped in and said, hey, John, this is not a good idea. You're not trading my guy. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's go from there, right? We've seen it with Mike Mularkey. When Mike Mularkey took us to a playoff, to the playoffs and won a playoff game, right? I think he was one of the first coaches in NFL history to get fired after winning a playoff game. So that tells me this little quote unquote rumor does not surprise me. It would not surprise me if it happened. It'll actually piss me off if it does happen. And I've iterated on the last show, and you're gonna start hearing me say this a lot. And I'm not this type of person, and I don't like to go down this particular road. But at this point, Amy, you need to sell the team. You need to give it to somebody that knows what they're doing, or a group of people, or a set of investors that know what they're doing. Don't mean you taking the team and you moving it somewhere. I'm talking about trying to figure out how to get this thing on the right path. So one, I do not agree with it. I think those men need to get a chance to get in here and have the same chance that John Robinson had, and let them do their thing, let them build out the process. And two, if it does happen, yeah, Hawk, I'm gonna be you're gonna see a little different side of me when it comes to the Titans organization from there on out. If it happens, I bleed blue, brother. I do. You know that. Everybody on this show know that. But that'll be the time I have to question my loyalty to certain things with this team in this organization. And I'm invested like you're invested. And I'm I'm invested. And that's something I might have to pull out my investment and say, you know what? Until y'all right this ship, maybe I don't need these season tickets. Maybe I can watch it at the crib, right? I love my team. I'm gonna bleed my team blue. But if that happens, yeah. And not saying that they're not doing a good job, right? Because we know we criticize them if they I have a lot of criticisms when it comes to Rand and some of their decisions, right? But at least give them a shot and a chance. Don't let it off early. What about you, Hawk? How do you feel about it?
Great take, Jacques, on the Rand Carthon Chad Brinker piece. And Jacques, I'm going to say this too, man. If this happens, you have to let Callahan go too. You can't just do two and that's it. It'd be the whole. You just need to sweep the broom, sweep the dust off the floor, and just sweep house. But I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm going to stay firm on that. If it happens, it happens. Like, hey, we don't make those decisions, right? We only can get sort of think or have our opinion on it. I don't think it's the right time to let go of Chad Brinker nor Red Carthon at this time. Just again, 2 years in the game. Yes, they need to do better. They do. And for that question to be brought up means they're not doing a good job, right? So we are 3-13. We have lost a lot of games so far in these 2 years. We have. And I understand when you lose, you open yourself up to anything. Criticism, your job, anything. Even at the job, any job that you're at, if you're not performing in 2 years and you don't see things improving, you put yourself at risk of losing your job. So I'm not shocked that news is out there. I'm not shocked about it. And we'll talk about this a little later. You know, we look at the roster. There's no Pro Bowlers on our team. We're in the worst division in football, and we're the worst team in that division. We're right now number 2 in the draft. So it's a lot of things against Brinker and Rand Carthon. But just like anything, at times it takes time because they didn't inherit a good football team. They inherited a bad football team. They inherited a team that didn't have a quarterback. They inherited a team that didn't have an offensive coordinator that was worth a damn. So I think right now, it'd be foolish to fire Rand Carthon and to fire Chad Brinker. If you're gonna be about it, as we say back in the 90s, if you're gonna be about it, be about it.
There you go.
Fire everybody. Yep. But I think from an investment standpoint, I mean, Rand Carthon and Chad Brinker are getting paid pretty well. So you still have to owe them money. The contract doesn't end. Then you have to rehire somebody. Then you got to get this new stadium money, and that it financially wouldn't even be smart. I wouldn't even think about firing them right now.
Right.
You have to give them another year. Now, I will say, I don't think it makes the seat cooler for Rand Carthon nor Chad Brinker for next year. Okay. And I'm not even saying I have to make the playoffs next year. I'm saying that we have to see progress. They have to do better. We have 3 wins. Vegas had us at 6. This season was sold to us like we have a good team, and that was not the case. And so they have to do better. They can't get on the microphone before the season starts. Oh man, we cooking. We got to do this. We need to reset. We need to get better. We need to find a quarterback. We need to find players on this team. So it'd be foolish for Amy Adams to fire them, in my opinion. You got to give them another year and then build on that. Now, if we 3-14 next year, then hey, I start cutting the fat for real. But
facts, no paper. Facts,
no
paper. No, facts, no paper. And that's we on the same page. That's my point. Give them another year to try to right the ship. And again, you don't come about the second pick in the draft too often. So you have a lot of options at that pick. You just got to make sure you hit it right. Anyway, Hawk. So we know our previous coach, Mike Vrabel, is on the coaching carousel now. He's a lot of rumors going out. He's going here to the Jets. He's going to the Raiders. He's going different places, man. Thoughts on on him getting a possible coaching job?
Not shocked at all, man. I'm not. I think Mike Vrabel, I said this last year when he got fired. I didn't initially think, I thought early maybe he would got hired earlier. But I was like, you know what? Him not being hired is working in his favor. Take the year off. Though he did coach with the Browns. He was it wasn't like he was chilling in Hawaii somewhere. So he was in the NFL last year. So let me take what I just said away. But from a coaching standpoint, he took a year away and he built his marketplace, right? A lot of teams have bad coaches. Mike Vrabel is not considered a bad coach. Mike Vrabel is considered a good coach. He had a bad 2 seasons. Like people forget, Mike Vrabel was 6-20 in his last 26 games. Let's not forget that, okay? But a lot of it, he could literally walk in the interview room and say, you know what, man, I took a Titan team that didn't have a lot of talent. We were the number one team in the AFC just a few years ago. I went to the AFC Championship. We got better every year except for the last 2 years. Yes, we didn't hit well on the draft, but I'm going to do better with that. I'm going to have a better team and analyzing our draft. I can coach. I just need better talent. And that's my fault of how I failed the Tennessee Titans over the last 2 seasons with me and John Robinson in the draft. That's an easy sell if I'm Mike Vrabel. So it literally is like you got all these coaches getting fired. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to drink my tea. I'm going to do a little analyzing for the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to be ready. He will absolutely get hired within the next few weeks. It's an absolute fact that Mike Vrabel might be the number one outside of maybe some offensive coordinators like a Ben Johnson or things like that. Mike Vrabel is a top 3 coach right now as far as in the marketplace. And I actually think if Vrabel understands, like, in life you learn, right? You learn. It's like, okay, the way that I was with the Titans, I was being bullheaded. I felt that I could coach anybody, any talent will win. I think he should understand, like, nah, that's not going to work this go around. So you learn, you get better, and then the fact is, he's a winning coach. He has a winning record. I think Mike Vrabel will go somewhere immediately. I think Vrabel will do well. He might first few years or whatever, but I think eventually the teams will buy into him. He has a lot of respect. He has Super Bowl rings behind his name. Former NFL player for 14 years in the league. Mike Vrabel's got some respect in the league. And there's people outside of Tennessee that always say, why in the hell did y'all fire Mike Vrabel? No, I understand that. I get that. Y'all are 3-13. Y'all said y'all going to get rid of Vrabel. We're going to have this new offense. We're going to be all creative. We ain't done a damn thing. We suck. We're worse. So I think Mike Vrabel's going to get hired. He might get hired tomorrow, dude. When the season's over, he'll be hired within a few weeks, man. So that's my thoughts on Vrabel, bro. What about you, Jacques?
I got different thoughts on Vrabel.
All right.
I feel like Vrabel inherited a Titans team. I don't think he built this team from scratch, if that makes sense. He inherited from Mike Mularkey, him and John Robinson. You had established vets here. They did a good job at adding pieces to this Titans team, but I'm always going to stand on that I feel like they inherited a playoff team because they did. They won the playoffs. You inherited it. You had those few good seasons where you were able to elevate, and then when the ship kind of came crashing down, it was time to build it up, and it was certain things that didn't build right, if that makes sense, right? So I think Mike Vrabel's a type of coach, which, of course, like you said, he's a hot commodity right now. He's going to be on the seat. You do have people that say that, but also I got a partner, man, who's a humongous Saints fan, man. That's my guy. Shout out to you, Joe. That we were in the gym. It was funny, man. And I said, man, hey, how would you feel about the Saints getting Mike Vrabel? He said, man, I don't want Mike Vrabel. I said, why is that? He said, man, look at the Titans. And I chuckled. I went to the defensive mode, but then I had to think about it. I said, let me play devil's advocate. If I'm looking at a franchise like the Titans, and again, the Titans are not the model franchise, so Mike Vrabel was able to do what he was able to do with what he had dealt with. But also, like you said, if Mike Vrabel can come in here and kind of change how his attitude is, because I think Mike Vrabel is an old school coach. And sometimes when you're coaching these new age kids, it's different, right? Can you get buy-in? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But then when he said that, I said, you know what? You're kind of right, dog. Like when you look at the Titans' success and when you talk to Titans fans outside of the Titan fandom and outside of the Titans and when you talk outside, they would tell you the same thing. Man, y'all had Derrick Henry. Y'all didn't have a quarterback. Tannehill was cool, but that's why we couldn't get a lot of respect. And I had to argue these points when I'm talking to these people. I'm like, well, we got this, but then I have to think about it. You're right, bro. You got Tannehill. We did have Derrick Henry who took the workload and literally carried us through the playoffs, right? That whole little playoff push. It was amazing. So I think Vrabel needs to be paired at a place where he has control, if that makes sense, right? He has control, a little bit more control than he had here at Tennessee. And I think that's where the clash came in. And I think the owner and him have to be lock and step. There's two places that I would love to see him go. is Vegas and the Patriots. I know Kraft said he's committed to Mayo, but I think Vrabel will be perfect with the Patriots because Kraft can kind of sit back and let him be GM, be the head coach. You know the Patriot way. You understand the Patriot way. He can go to the Raiders. He knows Tom Brady. Him and Tom Brady are like this, even though they bag on each other from time to time, but they understand each other. He needs to go somewhere like that. The Jets, to me, Woody, I think it's their owner, Woody Johnson, or whatever his name is. That's not a good marriage because I can feel like Vrabel will have his thing, but Woody gonna want to step in. So I feel like Vrabel has to go somewhere where he has nice control and an owner that he can kind of pair with. And I think those two destinations right there would be perfect for him. Saints, not so much. Play different places like that, no. But those two places, if I wouldn't surprise me to say, well, he's going to the Vegas Raiders. All right, cool. He fits that mold. He fits that organization. Tom Brady fits that organization, and they can kind of build that thing from scratch and build it up and build it in a way where they can create their own type style and culture.
Gotcha, Jock. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, Jock, the future of the Titans, bro. Mm-hmm. All right. So, as of today, as of right now, as far as the Tennessee Titans right now, man, the Titans are picking number 2 in the NFL draft, as you all see here, right? And those that watch us on Bleacher Report, man, when the New York Giants end up winning that game, we updated it immediately, letting y'all know, look, the Titans are right now at number 2. And if the Patriots win and we lose, ladies and gentlemen, will be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans. But we're going to hypothetically say we're number 2. All right. So, Jacques, as of today, right now at this moment, of course our mind is going to change over time. Maybe not. Who knows, right? Because we have we got what, 9 months almost, 9 to 10 months before the draft?
Yeah. We got a while, bro.
We got what, 6, 7 months, excuse me. But I'm thinking of the regular season getting started. My bad. Yeah. All right. And happy 2025, by the way. That's a mention that show. All right. With the number 2 pick, Jacques, as of today, what would you do with the number 2 pick?
Okay. And correction, it's 3 months because the draft is in April. So we in January. So we got 3 months. What would I do? If we're in a scenario where we need to turn the ship around, we need to get a quarterback. You need to get one of those 2 quarterbacks, Shador, Cam, whatever you feel like that fits your system very well, right? You need to get one of them because we need to turn this ship right now. Because if we don't, again, we're going to be having this conversation again next year. We probably might not be that high to pick anything that we need. Because I've heard the conversation saying, hey, let's get Arch Manning. Okay, what is the guarantee in 2026 you'll be picking number 2 or 1 again?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So if you have the opportunity to do it, especially if there's a lot of check boxes that's already checked. If they're already checked and you don't have to do a lot of fine tuning, do it. That's for me, quarterback. What about you, Hawk?
Jacques, this is what we need to feel in the seasons coming up, right? This right here, right? The new Nissan Stadium. Okay? So that's huge in my opinion in this decision. I'm not moving from the 2 spot. I'm not moving. You would have to go to farm for me, bro. And you have to throw your quarterback like Joe Burrow or somebody. It'd have to be somebody like crazy at quarterback, like, okay, duh. We know that's not going to, no one's going to give up their quarterback. So I'm not trading the pick, bro. I'm drafting a quarterback. And the quarterback is going to wear the Titan uniform, whether it be Cam Ward. Ain't that crispy? He can't wear 1, of course, because of Warren Moon. Unless Warren Moon says, hey, man, go ahead and rock that 1. But if he doesn't, that's fine. Or Shador Sanders, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tajay Spears, I know he rocked 2. He might go back to 32, bro. He had better luck with 32. You see, that's a jersey number I got on now, 32. But I'm drafting a quarterback. There's no question about that. This franchise needs a face. This franchise needs a quarterback. And it is clear that the Titans are moving on from Will Levis. It's clear. And whether they bring him back as a backup, I don't know what they're going to do. But they are done with that. And to save their job, and I'm speaking on Rand.
Yep.
I'm speaking on Chad Brinker. I'm speaking on Brian Callahan. They have to have a reset. And the reset is quarterback. So hit that reset button. Hit that reset button. Draft a quarterback at number 2. Yep. Extremely rare to be a number 2 in any draft. right? Unless you just every year you suck every year. And the Titans has not been the case with the Titans. Only over the last several years. And last year we picked 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a quarterback. We need to draft a quarterback. I
Yep.
got to, if they, I'm sure, again, catch 22. You never know what the future holds. You got to give Will Levis his opportunity. Last year, I bet they were like, man, damn, I wish we could have drafted a quarterback last season. But
Mm-hmm.
no one would have known until Vegas knew. But Vegas knew that. The NFL knew that. The NFL had Will Levis is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL when the season started. They did. So I say right now we need a quarterback. Draft one of these 2 guys, make it work. If you're a good coach, good GM, a good developer, and all that, make it work.
Yep. Yep. I think their ceiling is higher. Also, there was some Titans fans that knew that also. So I can't discredit those Titans fans that kind of knew that he wasn't going to be the one. I think there's a lot of optimism in the organization with the
Right.
fandom, but a lot of people there's out there that logically thinks they know, huh? But I do have another question for you. And then we can get up
Yes.
out of here. The Pro Bowl has been announced. There's a bunch of Pro Bowlers from almost a lot of playoff teams, actually.
Yep.
The Titans didn't have any Pro Bowlers selected in this year's selection.
You on mute, Jacques. I can't hear you.
Oh no.
There you go. There you
Oh,
go.
right, my bad. Man, these computers, they silly, man. They do silly stuff. Anyway, how do you feel about the Titans not having any Pro Bowlers announced in this year's draft? Does that hurt you? Does that make you mad? Is it shocking? Is it anything? Go ahead, talk to us.
Here's my face, Jacques. 0 Pro Bowlers. Hey, man. Hey, I think it's disappointing. There was only 4 teams in the NFL that didn't have any Pro Bowlers. The alternates, right? A real legitimate Pro Bowler, we had none. And honestly, outside of maybe Jeffrey Simmons and Amani Hooker, I don't think there was really an opportunity for anybody this year.
Tony
And
Pollard.
them not making it, I understand that, right? It's unfortunate. It's disappointing. It's bad to go a whole season without at least one Pro Bowler. So to me, it says several things. 1, you're not a talented football team. 2, your team is trash. And 3, free agents that we brought in did not perform up to where they needed to, man. So next year, man, like things just got to change, y'all. It's been a frustrating season. That's how I feel about it. We can't even get a Pro Bowler, bro. We're in the AFC South, dude. We can't get one Pro Bowler, and there's not a snub. Sometimes when people don't get picked, you be like, man, he should have made. We can't. I don't feel that, man, he should have made the Pro Bowl. It's not one player on that team that should have made the Pro Bowl. When I look at who made the Pro Bowl, you see what I'm saying? If people want to say Jeffrey Simmons, look at the AFC guys, the AFC defensive linemen that made the Pro Bowl, right? Incredible ball players out there. So it's like even Joseph from the Detroit Lions, he made. I mean, that's a snub. We didn't have that. We didn't have one player that should have made the Pro Bowl over anybody else that made the Pro Bowl. So I'm disappointed, man, that we couldn't have one player to really step up and make the Pro Bowl this season. It's just a microcosm of our season, man. It's disappointing, bro. Like, we gotta just do better, man. It's bull crap, dude. It's suck, man. What about you, Josh? It's crazy, bro.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
Do I really care about the Pro Bowl? It's lost its value, in my opinion, over the past couple of years. It was always a measuring stick of how good you were. I think I take in matter of facts of all pros better than Pro Bowl now because Pro Bowl is a freaking joke. Am I shocked? No. Do anybody deserve it? Not really. Again, I think with this whole thing, I think they need to just figure out, like you said, we need a star. We need somebody that can come in here and just be that face. And with the Pro Bowl, I just think nobody's just deserving on this team right now of the Pro Bowl. Like you said, not even a snub. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I think they just need to focus on, minus the Pro Bowl, focus on figuring out how you can build your game and get your game to the next level to get to the Pro Bowl, if that's your goal, right? Some players, it might not be their goal. I saw a clip of Derrick Henry. They were telling him he was going to the Pro Bowl. He looked like, okay. When are we going to the Super Bowl? When are we going to the Super Bowl? I don't give a damn about no Pro Bowl. When are we going to the Super Bowl? So I think the Pro Bowl itself, to me, has lost value, and I think it's losing value with the players themselves. And it just because it's not in Hawaii anymore. I think it was way more when it was in Hawaii versus Orlando. And it's like, okay, cool. So am I sad? Not really. I just at this point I think I'm checked out, and I want for us to get better to where we can quote unquote get some Pro Bowlers, if that's internally working on our stuff, or maybe externally in the draft or whatnot, finding somebody that can make the Pro Bowl. So that's my thoughts on it. Did they get it right? Yeah, they got it right. I mean, you got the right people in the Pro Bowl. You got it right. Whoever, I think the fans have some type of voting thing when it comes to the Pro Bowl, but I didn't really vote no Titans this year because I don't feel like they deserved it. So that's my thoughts on it, man. I don't hold weight with the Pro Bowl anymore. It's just a joke. But hey, shout out to the players that did make the Pro Bowl. Y'all deserved it. Titans players, you got to step your game up if you want to go to the Pro Bowl. Try to get all pro if you can, and then go from there.
Yeah. And we ain't got no all pro anything. First nor second team either, bro. We just ain't got it. We ain't got it, man. So, all right, folks. Well, listen, we want to say thank you all for watching our show, y'all. As always, we appreciate it, man. 2025 is here. Shout out to my sister as well. I am Courtney Michelle. Today is her birthday. Follow her on Instagram. Follow on tennis on YouTube as well, man. Hey, very popular podcast, man. Hey, she holds it down. That's my sister, man. So for those that just watching us now, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well, too. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Bleacher Report. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly, and Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. We out there, y'all.
Yes, sir. When you do check out those platforms, cut your notification bells on. Happy birthday, Courtney. So when y'all go subscribe to her platform, cut your notification bells on. Y'all can check out her content. She got some bomb content. Also over here as well, cut your notification bells, dings, or whatever. Cut them on so that way it lets you know when we go on live or post any content. And again, like I said before the show, we will start doing a lot more Instagram live. So y'all stay tuned on that. I think y'all like that. So if you're not subscribed to Instagram, go over there and do that now, because we're going to post out a lot of little breaking news type of style content over there. So just get ready for that. And also shout out to all the season ticket holders that got our gifts or lack thereof. That's a whole nother conversation. So, hey, do your thing with that. Happy New Year. And Hulk, take us home, man.
Okay, y'all. Well, we hope you all have a great rest of your day and weekend. Let's watch these Titans play the Texans in the Toilet Bowl 3 for us. And as we always say and as we always do, Jacques, facts.
No paper.
Tennessee Titans Weekly, we can't read a rock, but being the best podcast with Hawk and Jock. We cover the Titans early in the morning or later, with everything you need, spitting facts, no paper. From the Music City, born and raised, we reppin'. The city and the state of Tennessee, we steppin'. Our fans enjoy, they say they'll enlighten us. Let's go Titans fans and tighten up. Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We're here to be the best and never last. Hawk and Jock, what's the plot? To make the Super Bowl, or can we win or not? Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast. We give you news and perspectives and do it fast. When you see our shows, tell us what's up. Let's get this win and go home and tighten